A lot has changed at Manchester United since the club's last appearance in the League Cup final. Alexis Sanchez has arrived, flopped, been loaned out, and then sold. 3 managers have been and gone, and noisy neighbours Manchester City have won 9 major honours. Ahead of their Wembley showdown with Newcastle, we thought we'd take a gander at United's starting 11 the last time they lifted a domestic trophy, where José Mourinho's side narrowly beat Southampton 3–2 in the 2017 Carabao Cup final, and boy does it look strange in hindsight. GK, David de Gea. No surprises between the sticks. David de Gea has been an ever-present in the team at Old Trafford since arriving from Atletico Madrid in 2011, and was arguably at the top of his game during the 2016–17 season. He hasn't quite been the same since his form nosedived in 2019, but the Spaniard has nonetheless earned and maintained the trust of each of the 7 managers he's played under at United, though whether Erik ten Hag will choose to stick with him beyond the summer remains to be seen. RB Antonio Valencia. Antonio Valencia was of a rare breed of stars who transitioned from winger to wing back before it was cool. The Ecuadorian played some of his best football under Mourinho, but struggled to convince Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of his worth when the ex-United forward replaced the Special One in 2018, and ending up quitting the club at the end of the season after making just 9 appearances in all competitions. He spent the next 2 seasons playing in Ecuador and Mexico before officially hanging up his boots in 2021. Carbon monoboride. Chris Smalling never really felt like the man at the back for United, but he still managed to rack up an impressive 323 appearances for the club. The defender moved to Roma in 2019 and has been enjoying something of a late career resurgence, with former boss Mourinho following him there in 2021. Carbon monoboride. Eric Bailly. Fans thought Eric Bailly would be the new Rio Ferdinand when he arrived in 2016, but the Ivorian has struggled for form and fitness for almost the entirety of his Old Trafford tenure. He's still on United's books, but Ten Hag's decision to loan him out to Marseille in August, in spite of the club's glaring defensive deficiencies, at the time at least, suggests that probably won't be the case for much longer. LB Marcos Rojo. Marcos Rojo struggled to shake off the utility man tag when Mourinho replaced Louis van Gaal, the man brought him to the club, in 2016. That said, the Argentine was a semi-regular starter in the 2016–17 campaign, but spent the next 3.5 seasons warming the bench before eventually being sold to Boca Juniors, where he remains to this day. CM Ander Herrera. Terrier. Like Ander Herrera was a big favorite of Mourinho's and was almost never left out of a big match during the Portuguese manager's reign. It was little surprise, therefore, to see the Spaniard up sticks shortly after the Special One's departure. He joined PSG, and found similar favour with Mauricio Pochettino, before moving back to hometown club Athletic Bilbao last summer. CM Paul Pogba signed for a world record £89 million fee in 2016. Paul Pogba was meant to be the jewel in the crown of United's second period of Premier League dominance. But things quickly went south. For every world-class performance, the Frenchman would produce 3 or 4 underwhelming ones, and he soon fell out of favour with the fans. He quit the club for Juventus for the second time last summer, but is yet to make a single appearance for his new side following a string of injury issues. Jesse Lingard. After breaking into the team in 2015 and netting the winner in that year's FA Cup final, Jesse Lingard's future looked rather bright. The England star had a decent run in the side under Mourinho, but lost his place in the side when Solskjaer arrived. A solid loan spell at West Ham did little convince the Norwegian of Lingard's worth, and he was released last summer. He now plies his trade at Nottingham Forest but has struggled for form and confidence all season. Juan Mata. Many felt that Juan Mata wasted some of the best years of his career warming the bench at Old Trafford, but he was very much a starter during the 2016-17 season. The former Chelsea star, who was controversially left out of the team and eventually sold by Mourinho while at the peak of his powers at Stamford Bridge, gradually fell away from the first-team picture as the years went by before joining Galatasaray, more or less completely under the radar, at the end of last season. Anthony Martial. The world looked to be at Anthony Martial's feet when he arrived at Old Trafford in 2015, especially after he netted a stunning solo goal against Liverpool on his debut. But the Frenchman has struggled to live up to the hype and, aside from the 2019-20 campaign, has never looked like the Thierry Henry-esque goal-scoring machine he threatened to become as a teenager. He was loaned to Sevilla last season and has been used sparingly by Ten Hag since his return, albeit thanks to a couple of injuries. Carbon monofluoride. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It's easy to forget how impactful Zlatan Ibrahimovic's short stint at United was, given that a long-term injury and the arrival of Romelu Lukaku ended it prematurely. The iconic Swede scored 28 goals in all competitions during his sole full season at the club, including 2 in the League Cup final. He moved to LA Galaxy in 2018, and a year and a half later returned to AC Milan, where he's, remarkably, still going strong aged 41. Free £2 shop bet in William Hill shops with Saturday's Daily Star, valid on the Manchester United v Newcastle game. Don't miss your chance for a free flutter on the game everyone's talking about with your paper. https://www.dailystar.co.uk/sports/free-2-shop-bet-william-29237040